أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد، وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابته المنتجبين. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: ولا تسبوا الذين يدعون من دون الله فيسبوا الله عدوا من غير علم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. In Islam, you're entitled to have your own opinion of what you think. The door of ijtihad is open, we believe. You can come up, if you go through ijtihad as a mujtahid, you can come up with your own opinions regarding fiqh, regarding Islamic laws, and regarding Islamic ideologies as well, Islamic theology. You are entitled to your opinion. Islam gives you that. Not just Islam, everyone. It's common sense that you can have your own opinion. Now, sometimes if you come up with an opinion and you see others that disagree with you, there are others that disagree with your opinion. They don't reach the same conclusions that you reach regarding theology. You might believe that your opinion is the consensus opinion. It's the more orthodox opinion. It's the correct opinion. While the opinion of the other scholar, the other person, the other group, it's an incorrect opinion. You might even feel that the other person is a deviant, munharif. This person has deviated from the truth. You might feel that this person is an innovator. He's bringing things into religion that are not part of religion. He's making up new ideas, new thoughts, new beliefs. How do you react to this person? The person who you disagree with. The person that you believe is not on the correct path. The person that you believe has deviant and lost ideas. How do you treat this person? How do you behave with this person? This person could be a historic figure from the past. This person could be a contemporary figure from the present. This person can be someone from another school of thought. This person can be from your own school of thought. How do you deal with this person's opinions and views? One way is to give him freedom of speech, is to allow him to speak and share his opinions and spread his views and opinions. It's freedom of speech. This is one way. You allow him to speak freely and to spread his views and opinions. Another way is to stop this person, attack this person, curse this person, use foul language against this person, use a sharp tongue. and be very, very sharp and attack this person even by using profanity, by using the harshest words. This is also an approach. A third approach is to judge the views and opinions of this person academically based on the Quran and the Sunnah, without being harsh, without attacking this person personally, rather judging his opinions, not his persona. Judging his opinions based on the Quran and Sunnah and giving your own opinion. These are three ways. There are some that believe that the most appropriate manner when you disagree with someone, when someone who has a different opinion as yours, someone who you feel is a deviant, someone who has deviated from the truth, then the best way is to attack this person. Use a sharp tongue. Use profanity, which we call sab in Arabic. Use profanity, use a sharp tongue, curse, severely attack this person in order to stop him from his deviance, in order to get him to change his Islamic views. That is why you might be astonished. Really? Do we have such people that feel that in order to counter some people's views, the way to disagree is to swear and use profanity and attack and use harsh words? Yes, we do have some such people, unfortunately. These people are extremely active. You will find them online. You will find them on almost every social networking device, social networking site. They're active. Anyone who disagrees with them, they will curse him. Not only curse, they will use profanity. They will use harsh words. They will verbally attack. They will not just attack that person's ideas and opinions, they will attack him personally. These people, they are extremely active. And some of them own satellite channels as well. Now when you ask them, when you ask these brothers that why do you do such things? Why do you use profanity? Why do you use harsh words? Why do you make it personal? Why do you attack certain scholars that you disagree with personally? For example, I've seen some people, they disagree with, for example, Al-Shaheed Al-Sayyid Muhammad Baqir Al-Sadr. They attack him personally. They attack him personally. They don't just judge his opinions, but they attack him and they curse him and they use profanity against him. Those who disagree with Al-Marhum Al-Shaykh Al-Wa'ili, they attack him, they curse him, they make it personal. Not just his opinions, but they make it personal. You ask them why. Why do you take such approach? Such conservative approach? Where is this found in the Quran? This approach of swearing and using profanity? Is it found in the Hadith? Is it found in the Sunnah of the Ahlulbayt, Rasulullah and Ahlulbayt? They say yes, yes. We have a Hadith, and this is their main basis. This school of thought, this approach, this conservative approach, the following is their main basis. This is their main justification. They say we have a Hadith narrated by Imam al-Sadiq, who narrates the Hadith by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Allahumma salli ala. And the Hadith al-Sahih The sanad, the chain of narrators, is sahih. What does the hadith say? They say the hadith justifies for us our actions. Thus we can curse, not just curse. Cursing is in the Quran. La'an is in the Quran. We can swear, sab, use profanity. We can use harsh language based on the following hadith. What does the hadith say? The narrator is Dawood ibn Sarhan. Sahih Dawood ibn Sarhan. An Abi Abdullah. He narrates from Imam al-Sadiq. Abi Abdullah is Imam al-Sadiq. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. إذا رأيتم أهل الريب والبدع من بعدي فأظهروا البراءة منهم وأكثروا من سبهم والقول فيهم والوقيعة وباهتوهم كي لا يطمعوا في الفساد في الإسلام ويحذرهم الناس ولا يتعلمون من بدعهم يكتب لكم بذلك الحسنات ويرفع لكم به الدرجات في الآخرة. The hadith says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam states that if you see innovators after me, those who innovate after me, those who cast doubt, Ahlul Rayb, those who cast doubts and questions, what do you do with them? Number one, claim innocence from them, condemn them. أظهر البراءة منهم, condemn them. Two, وأكثروا من سبهم, swear at them, use profanity, use dirty language. وأكثروا من سبهم, swear at them consistently and constantly. والقول فيهم والوقيعة, attack them verbally, use a sharp tongue against them. وباهتوهم, باهتوهم has two meanings. One is that wrongfully accuse them, say that they are Jewish, they're Zoroastrians, they are such and such, wrongfully accuse them. This is one meaning. Another meaning, bahituhum, is prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Prove that their ideas and opinions are wrong, so that they will not be interested to troublemaker in Islam, and that people will be aware of them, so that they will not learn from their innovations. They will not follow in their footsteps. If you do so, Allah will write you good deeds. You'll be rewarded. You'll be rewarded and receive good deeds, and Allah will raise your status in this life. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. There are some that say this is the basis of our school of thought. This is the basis of our approach. This hadith justifies for us to curse, to swear, to use profanity, to have a sharp tongue, to attack. Not just to attack people's ideas, those who we disagree with, not just to attack their ideas and opinions, but attack them personally. Attack them personally. You agree with someone? You feel that they have deviated, they are deviants, they are innovators, attack them personally. They say, this comes from the hadith. Whether it's early figures in Islam, from the Sahaba of Rasulullah who deviated, or their followers, from other schools of thought today, or people from our own school of thought we disagree with, we believe that they have deviated, let us swear at them. Let us attack them verbally. Tonight, my brothers and sisters, in the few moments that we have, let us examine the following. Number one, the sanad of this hadith. Is this hadith authentic or is it not authentic? Does it have a weak chain of narrators or does it have a strong chain of narrators? Number one. Number two, let us analyze its content. Let us see what is the Imam or what is Rasulullah stating in this hadith. Let us analyze and study the content. Number three, let us see, is this hadith compatible with the Quran or does it conflict with the Quran? Number four, is it compatible with the Sunnah of Rasulullah and the Sunnah of the Ahlulbayt? Let us see. Number five, did the Imams practice this hadith? Did they swear at anyone? Did they use profanity and a sharp tongue and foul language against anyone or no? Number six, how compatible is this hadith with taqiyya? We believe in taqiyya. Does this hadith contradict taqiyya? Is it compatible with taqiyya or no? Number seven, this is very important. Who decides who is a deviant and who is an innovator? Can anyone come and say that this person is a deviant, that person is a deviant, this person is a deviant? Who gets to judge? Who gets to decide who is a deviant and who is an innovator? Number eight, what does Islam tell us about disagreeing with others? The etiquette and the ethics of disagreeing with others. وصلوا على محمد وعلى محمد. Number one, the sanad of the hadith. When we observe the sanad of the hadith is as follows. It is narrated by Shaykh al-Kulayni in Al-Kafi. And this is his sanad. Muhammad ibn Ya'qub al-Kulayni, عن محمد بن يحيى, عن محمد بن الحسن, عن أحمد بن محمد ابن أبي نصر البزنطي, عن داود بن سرحان, عن الإمام الصادق. This is the chain of narrators. What do we say about them? Muhammad ibn Ya'qub al-Kulayni, very authentic. No one can question his credibility. Muhammad ibn Yahya, there are several Muhammad ibn Yahya. When we look at the biographies of men, of narrators, you will find there are several Muhammad ibn Yahya. But most likely this Muhammad ibn Yahya is Muhammad ibn Yahya al-Attar, who is also extremely authentic, extremely credible, extremely reliable and trustworthy. And Muhammad ibn al-Hussein, ثقة, reliable, trustworthy. And Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Abi Nasr al-Bazanti, extremely reliable. This narrator is extremely reliable and he's called min ashab al-ijma'. There is a consensus on the authenticity and the trustworthiness of several narrators. He is one of them. Muhammad ibn Abi Nasr, Muhammad ibn Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Abi Nasr al-Bazanti, one of the companions of Imam al-Rida. Reliable, no question. Dawood ibn Sarhan, also reliable. And then he narrates from Imam al-Sadiq. Thus this hadith is what? This hadith is called Sahih. The sanad is Sahih. It's authentic. There is no question mark on the sanad, on the chain of narrators. In fact, this hadith has been called Sahih by almost all of our scholars. All of our scholars who have questioned this hadith, they label it as Sahih. They say that it is reliable. For example, Al-Shahid al-Thani in his book Al-Masalik, Al-Sabzawari in Kifayat al-Ahkam, Al-Naraqi in his Mustanad, Al-Sayyid al-Rawhani in his Al-Fiqh al-Sadiq, Al-Sayyid al-Hakim, Al-Sayyid Muhammad Sa'id al-Hakim in his book Misbah al-Minhaj, Al-Turayhi fi Majma' al-Bahrain, الشيخ محمد تقي الأصفهاني في مكيال المكارم, حبيب الله الخوئي في منهاج البراعة, السيد الخوئي in his مصباح الفقاهة, الشيخ المجلسي in مرآة العقول. These are some scholars among many others who have labeled this hadith as sahih. The chain of narrators is authentic. Thus, the chain of narrators is authentic. Yes, however, there's another problem with the hadith. What is the problem? The problem is that this hadith is only narrated by a Shaykh al-Kulayni. Only. It is only mentioned in Al-Kafi. While Shaykh al-Tusi, he has a book called At-Tahdhib, Al-Istibsar, he doesn't mention the hadith. Shaykh al-Saduq, he has a book called Man La Yahdharuhu al-Faqih. He has other books, Al-Khisal, he has Al-Amali. Shaykh al-Saduq has lots of books, but he doesn't mention this hadith, nor does Shaykh al-Tusi. From our ancient scholars, because when you want to see the authenticity of a hadith, you don't see what current scholars, if they mention it in their books. You have to see the ancient scholars, al-Qudama. Do they mention the hadith in their books or not? We see that only a Shaykh al-Kulayni mentions this hadith. And for some scholars, this is problematic. Why didn't others narrate the hadith? Shaykh al-Tusi, most likely he saw the hadith, but he didn't narrate it in his books. Same goes for Shaykh al-Saduq. He most likely saw the hadith, but he didn't narrate it in his books. This poses a question mark on the hadith. Why is it that only Shaykh al-Kulayni narrates the hadith and others don't? This puts a question mark. And in ilm al-usul, Islamic legal theory, we accept the hadith that we feel it is certain, we feel certain that it has been said by the Ahlulbayt. Al-khabar al-mawthuq bihi. The hadith that you feel, you are certain that the Ahlulbayt said it, you take it. Otherwise, if you are not certain, you cannot take it. إِنَّ الظَّنَّ لَا يُغْنِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ شَيْئًا. We don't take any hadith that we're not sure of. And hence, because Shaykh al-Saduq and Shaykh al-Tusi do not narrate this hadith, we are not sure of its authenticity. Only Shaykh al-Kulayni narrates it. And this is problematic. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. That's for the sanad. We come to the content. Let's study the content and let's analyze it a little bit. The hadith says by Rasulullah, إِذَا ظَهَرَ مِنْ بَعْدِ أَهْلُ الرَّيْبِ وَالْبِدَعِ. Those who innovate, those who bring new things into religion that did not exist before. Like Salat al-Taraweeh. Remember when we talked about Salat al-Taraweeh? And we ended up with a conclusion that Salat al-Taraweeh is a what? Bid'ah. It's an innovation. It's something that is not mentioned in the Quran nor practiced by Rasulullah. Thus, a person who brings, for example, Taraweeh, a person who says in your salah, say Ameen. This is a bid'ah because it was never practiced by Rasulullah. Someone who says, let's put in our adhan, as-salatu khayrun min an-nawm. This is bid'ah. This was not practiced by Rasulullah. These are innovators. These are innovators. إِذَا ظَهَرَ مِنْ بَعْدِ أَهْلُ الْبِدَعِ وَالرَّيْبِ. Those who distorted the message of Rasulullah. Those who brought teachings that Rasulullah never believed in, nor did he practice. That is fine. However, some who might disagree with you in your own school of thought, some who have a new interpretation, they don't bring anything new, a new practice or a new... No, but they have a new interpretation. And we believe that the door of ijtihad is open, whether in fiqh or usul. The door of ijtihad is open. In fact, we believe that in usul al-din you cannot perform taqleed. You have to be a mujtahid in usul al-din. You have to come up with your own conclusions. There are some today that have shut the door of ijtihad when it comes to usul al-din. They say you have to believe in exactly what I believe. Otherwise you're a deviant. And that will give me the right to curse you and swear at you. Hold on a second. We believe that the door of ijtihad is open. We believe that you cannot perform taqleed when it comes to usul al-din. You tell me that I have to be a mujtahid in usul al-din. I have to reach my conclusions. When I reach my own conclusions, you curse me? You swear at me? You use foul language on me? Because I did not reach the same conclusions that you did? You see? This is something funny. They say you cannot perform taqleed in usul al-din. You have to reach your own conclusions. But make sure those conclusions are exactly my conclusions. Otherwise I'll curse you. Otherwise I'll swear at you. This sounds more like taqleed, doesn't it? What you're trying to implement is taqleed, it's not ijtihad. When we come to fiqh, you have to reach the conclusions that I've reached at. You tell me that ijtihad is open. I could reach my own conclusions. I can study, do my own research, and reach my own conclusions. But if I disagree with you, you'll curse me, and you'll swear at me, and you'll use foul language at me. Where is this? And you label me as a deviant and as an innovator. Who are you to tell me that I am deviant? I'm a deviant. Who are you to tell me? Who are we to label this person, this scholar, this sheikh? He has his own interpretation. He has his own understanding of fiqh. He has his own understanding of usul. He has his own understanding of usul al-din. Who are you to come and label him as a deviant and as a munharif? If he has his proof from the Quran and he could support his argument from the Quran, who are you to label him as a deviant? And to curse him, and to use foul language, and to say that he was born from an illegitimate birth, and he cursed his mother and father. Who gave you the right? Who made you the judge to decide who's a deviant and who's not a deviant? Who gave you that judge? Who gave you that right? The Quran tells Rasulullah, إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُسَيْطِرْ. You can't tell them what to do, Ya Rasulullah. You can't come and force your opinions. You can't force your ideology and theology on them. You remind them. There are some people that think they are judges. This person's a deviant, this person's not. This person's going to heaven, this person's going to hell. This person's cursed, this person's not cursed. Who are you to decide? Who made you an authority to judge? This marji', yes, he's going to heaven. That marji' is swimming in hellfire now. He's burning in hellfire now. Who gave you the authority? Who made you the judge? Thus, this is number one. إِذَا ظَهَرَ مِنْ بَعْدِي أَهْلُ الرَّيْبِ وَالْبِدْعِ. Let's first come and decide who is أَهْلُ الرَّيْبِ وَالْبِدْعِ. Who are the innovators? Who are the deviants? You might say it's this person. I'll tell you no. I'll tell you no, it's not this person. Just because this person has a different idea than you. This person believes in a theory that you don't accept, whether it's a religious theory or a political theory. Doesn't mean this person has deviated. This person is entitled to his opinion, just like you are entitled to your opinion. In fact, maybe some people view you as a deviant. Maybe some people view you as an innovator and as a deviant. So slow down, relax. أظهر البراءة منهم إذا ظهر من بعد أهل الريب والبدع. أظهر البراءة منهم. Condemn them and claim innocence from them. Condemning them could mean come and say that I disagree with this person. I do not accept this person's opinions. Is this condemning or not? This is condemning. You come and say I do not accept this person's opinions. I disagree with this person. Does it necessarily mean that you have to use foul language to condemn? Does it necessarily mean that you have to use profanity and vulgar language to condemn? No. No. The hadith says, وَبَاهِتُوهُمْ. It could mean prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. And this is most likely the meaning of بَاهِتُوهُمْ. The Quran tells us, فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. Ibrahim alayhi salam proved his friend wrong. He told him, who is your Lord? The sun, the moon, the stars? He proved him wrong. The Quran says, فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أهلا ومرحبا شيخنا. Or it could mean wrongfully accuse them. Wrongfully accuse them. Some, they choose this meaning. Those who disagree with them, let us wrongfully accuse them. The hadith is telling me wrong, so accuse them of whatever you'd like. Accuse them of zina, accuse them of homosexuality if you'd like. Because the hadith says, بَاهِتُوهُمْ. Wrongfully accuse them. Well, this is one meaning. There's another meaning. And this is most likely the meaning. بَاهِتُوهُمْ means prove them wrong. Use strong evidence, clear evidence from the Quran, from the Hadith, from the Ahadith, from the Sunnah. Prove them wrong. بَاهِتُوهُمْ فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. It was proved wrong. Doesn't mean wrongfully accuse them. Right? Now the most controversial section of this hadith, of the hadith, is this. وَأَكْثِرُوا مِنْ سَبِّهِمْ وَالْقَوْلُ فِيهِمْ وَالْوَقِيعَةِ. Constantly swear at them. Use profanity. Attack them. Be harsh in your language towards them. Now this is the controversial section in this whole hadith. أكثروا من سبهم والقول فيهم والوقيعة. Now let's come and let's see, is this sentence, is this statement that orders us to use foul language and use profanity against those who disagree with us, those who we disagree with and we deem as deviant? Let's see, is this compatible with the Quran or not? صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. One of the ways to test the authenticity of a hadith, to see, is this hadith authentic or is it not authentic? Did the Ahlulbayt really say this or not say this? The best way is to see, does it conform with the Quran or does it not conform with the Quran? Is it compatible with the Quran or is it not compatible with the Quran? If it's compatible with the Quran, take it. If it contradicts the Quran, if it does not conform with the Quran, if it's incompatible with the Quran, take the hadith and throw it. We have a hadith that says, إِذَا جَاءَكُمُ الْحَدِيث عَنَّا فَاعْرُضُوهُ عَلَى كِتَابِ اللَّهِ وَسُنَّةِ النَّبِيِّ فَمَا وَافَقَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَالسُّنَّةِ فَخُذُوا بِهِ وَمَا خَالَفَ الْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ فَاضْرُبُوا بِهِ عَرْضَ الْجِدَارِ. If a hadith contradicts the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah, then throw it. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. A second salawat, please. A third salawat for the love of Fatima al-Zahra with your loudest voices. Let's come and see this statement, this sentence, is it compatible with the Quran or not? The Quran clearly states, وَلَا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّ اللَّهَ عَدْوًا مِنْ غَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. The Quran says, do not swear and use profanity against those who call to other than Allah, meaning those who disbelieve in Allah. Do not swear and use profanity at those who disbelieve in Allah. Why? فَيُسُبُّ اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عَلْمٍ. Because they will also use profanity and attack whom? Attack Allah. When you attack them, they will attack you. When you attack their figures, they will attack your figures. When you attack their deity and their holy figures, they will attack your deity and holy figures. You see, the hadith says, وَلَا تَسُبُّ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Now, some might say, well, this hadith is irrelevant. This verse is irrelevant. This verse does not forbid us from from using profanity and from swearing. Why? Because the hadith is very, I keep on saying hadith. The verse is very specific. Number one, it says, وَلَا تَسُبُّ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Do not swear at those who call other than Allah, meaning the disbelievers. I don't swear at someone who disbelieves in Allah. I swear at a Muslim, maybe even a follower of Ahlulbayt, but I disagree with him. And I deem him as a deviant. I swear at him. This is one. Number two, the verse says, do not swear at them because they will swear at Allah. When I swear at some Muslims that I disagree with and I believe they are deviants, they're not going to swear at Allah. This is Allah. Why shouldn't we swear at them? Because they will swear at Allah. This is the reasoning. This is the Allah. When I swear at Muslims who I disagree with, they're not going to swear at Allah. Thus, I could swear at them as much as I want. This is what they say. And their arguments, this is what they say. The answer. Number one, the Quran is forbidding swearing and profanity. Whether it's against disbelievers or it's against believers. It's against Muslims who you disagree with. It's against deviants. There's no difference. As we say in Hausa, as jurists say, Adam fahmil khususiyya. Disbelievers, they don't have anything special. There's nothing special about them. You can't swear at the disbelievers. There's nothing special about them. The Quran is banning swearing in general. It's banning harsh language, whether it's against disbelievers or others. Adam fahmil khususiyya. This is one. Number two, so that they don't swear against Allah. This is a Allah? No, who told you this is a Allah? This is not a reasoning. This is not the reason behind the law. Because if it was the reason behind the law, that means if a disbeliever, if you were to swear at him, and you know that he's not going to swear at Allah, can you swear at him? If it was a reason, Allah, then yes. But we say this is not a Allah. فَيَسُبُّ اللَّهَ عَدْوًا مِنْ غَيْرِ عِلْمٍ is not the reason behind the hukum. It is the hikmah, the wisdom behind the hukum. The wisdom behind the hukum. And when there's a wisdom behind the law, that means that the law is general, whether the wisdom exists or it doesn't exist. The law will continue. Let me give you an example. In Islam, when a woman is divorced, when can she get married? When can she remarry? When? After 3 menstrual cycles, right? Why? What is the wisdom behind this? The wisdom is that in case she is pregnant, within the first 3 months, we'll discover that she is pregnant so that, we discover who the father is. Well, what if we know that she's not pregnant? Definitely she's not pregnant. Does she still have to wait for 3 months? Yes. Yes, she does. Because to know whether she's pregnant or not is a wisdom. It's not the reason. It's a hikmah, and not Allah. You see? I don't know, maybe I'm confusing you with all of this terminology. I hope I'm not confusing you. But to say that we can swear at those who are deviant because we know they're not going to swear at Allah, this is a wisdom. This is not a reasoning. You cannot swear at them. The Quran says, وَلَا تَسُبُّ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّ اللَّهَ عَدْوًا مِنْ غَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. The Quran forbids us from swearing. The Quran forbids us from using profanity. Thus, this hadith, this section of the hadith, it contradicts the Quran. This is one. Number two, Al-Shaheed Al-Sayyid Muhammad Baqir Al-Sadr, he has a theory. He says that a hadith doesn't necessarily need to contradict a verse from the Quran in order not to take it. No, it is enough that this hadith contradicts the spirit of the Quran. Ruh al-Quran. Even if it doesn't necessarily contradict a specific verse. Don't take the hadith. If it contradicts Ruh al-Quran. And As-Sayyid Al-Sistani Hafidhahullah, he agrees with As-Sayyid Muhammad Baqir Al-Sadr. Read his usul. This is his opinion in usul al-fiqh. That if a hadith contradicts Ruh al-Quran, the spirit of the Quran, then we don't take it. I ask you, this section of the hadith, أكثروا من سبهم والقول فيهم والوقيعة. Is it compatible with the spirit of the Quran? Does it agree with the spirit of the Quran? What do you say? Of course not. When we read the Quran is full of compassion. The Quran is full of kindness. The Quran is full of mercy. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. And speak kindly to people, all people. Whether they're Jews or Christians or Buddhists or atheists, people that you disagree with, even Wahhabis, even those who attack us and kill us. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Speak kindly to people. This is what the Quran says. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. There are some people, I don't know what to say about them. The least thing that I could say about them is that they are misinformed. Miseducated. They come and say that the Quran has verses that swear, that have profanity. The Quran has profanity. Can you believe this? They say the Quran is full of profanity. And that is why we could also use profanity. Where in the Quran does it have profanity? They say, مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا. The Quran speaks of the Jews. Allah says we gave Jews the book, their books, the Torah, other books. They carried them without understanding them. The same way a donkey, let a donkey carry thousands of books on his back. Will he understand the books? Will a donkey understand the book? Let him carry 1,000 books. He'll never understand them. Jews are like donkeys who carry books. They say, see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using profanity. He's attacking Jews. He's calling them donkeys. No, my dear friends. Allah is not calling Jews donkeys. He's giving an example. He's giving an example. Let's understand and let's comprehend. مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ حُمِّلُوا. Allah is giving an example. Allah is not calling them donkeys. Allah is saying, just like donkeys, put 1,000 books on a donkey. Let him carry them. He'll never understand them. So too are Jews. Allah gave them the commandments, the Torah, and other books. They didn't understand them. مَثَلُهُ كَمَثَلِ الْكَلْبِ إِن تَحْمِلْ عَلَيْهِ يَلْهَثْ وَإِن تَتْرُكْهُ يَلْهَثْ. The Quran tells us about some humans, about one human. The Quran says that he's like a dog. He's like a dog. You approach him, he barks at you. You don't approach him, he still barks at you. The Quran is not cursing and swearing. Here, the Quran is not swearing. The Quran is giving an example. The Quran is giving an example. وَيَضْرَبُ اللَّهُ لِلنَّاسِ الْأَمْثَالِ. Allah gives examples in the Quran. Allah is not using profanity. This is not sab. This is not foul language. It's purely an example. And they'll give you other examples. تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَابٍ عُتُلٍّ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ الزَّنِيمِ. My dear brothers and sisters, this is not sab. This is not foul language. Let's understand the Quran. This is giving examples or bayanul hal, bayanul haqiqah. This is reality. This is reality. The Quran gives us the reality of some people. This is not sab. Allah is more gracious. Allah is more polite. Allah describes His Prophet, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You have high manners. Allah does not have manners. Allah does not have great manners. Rasulullah says, أَدَّبَنِي رَبِّي فَأَحْسَنَ تَأْدِيبِي. My Lord disciplined me. He gave me high manners. Allah will come and use foul language and profanity? Absolutely not. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. This is in the Quran. How about the Sunnah and the Hadith of the Ahlulbayt? Is this section and the Hadith and Sahih Dawood ibn Sarhan أكثر من سبهم والقول فيهم الوقيعة? Is it compatible with the Sunnah? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We see lots of ahadith from the Ahlul Bayt that forbid us from using foul language. In Ma'arakat Saffin, in the Battle of Saffin, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam saw two of his companions swearing at Muawiyah and his group. They were swearing at them using profanity. One of them was Hujr ibn Adi, and the other was Amr ibn al-Hamaq al-Khuza'i. He saw them using sab, profanity. Amir al-Mu'mineen forbid them. He forbade them. He told them, no. أَكْرَهُ لَكُمْ أَن تَكُونُوا قَوْمًا سَبَّابِينَ. Alhamdulillah, all of you know this. I hate for you to use profanity and harsh language. I hate this for you. This is not the akhlaq of my followers and those who say that we are Shia. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, among his qualities, لم يكن غيابا ولا سبابا. غيابا meaning the one who says ghiba. He would never say ghiba. ولا سبابا. He would never say sab. He would never use profanity. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam himself, he says, إياكم وسب أعداء الله. I forbid you from using foul language on the enemies of Allah. حيث يسمعونكم فيسب الله عدوا بغير علم. Because they will hear you and they will curse, they will swear at Allah without knowledge. Some say that the Ahlul Bayt use foul language. Yeah, they use foul language, they use profanity. Imam al-Sadiq said so-and-so to Khalid ibn al-Walid. Imam al-Hussein said so-and-so to Shimr. Imam Ali said so-and-so to Umar ibn al-Khattab. And they will bring profanity and harsh language. Again, first of all, these ahadith that you mentioned from the Ahlul Bayt, do they have a strong chain of narrators? Or are they, most of them, wa'af? Their chain of narrators is da'if. This is number one. Their chain of narrators is da'if. They're unreliable ahadith. You tell me that Imam Ali said this, Imam al-Hussein said that, so-and-so Imam said this, they use profanity. First of all, these are weak ahadith. Number two, again, this is not sab. This is bayanul haqiqah. Amir al-Mu'mineen is showing them their reality. He mentions, for example, the son of Yabna Suhak. Oh, the son of Suhak. Suhak was a, so-and-so lady. He's telling him about his past. He's reminding him of his past. He's not swearing at him. He's reminding him of his past. This is not swearing. This is not profanity. We are misunderstanding these concepts, unfortunately. We have some that come on satellite channels and they say that the Ahlul Bayt, they use profanity. This is not right. صلوا على محمد وعلى محمد. This section فأكثروا من سبهم والقول فيهم الوقيعة. It goes against taqiyya. We have been taught taqiyya. التقية ديني ودين آبائي لا تقية لمن لا دين لمن لا تقية له. Taqiyya is my, Imam Sadiq says, taqiyya is my religion and the religion of my forefathers. He who does not practice taqiyya has no faith, has no religion. When you swear at figures that they deem as holy, yes, sometimes you have an academic debate, you have an academic discussion. You mention things that are mentioned in their books, yes. Without using foul language, without using profanity, that's good. But you come and you swear, and you use profanity, and you use foul language, no. This goes against taqiyya. Our imams practice taqiyya, and they would order their companions to practice taqiyya. Why have we forgotten this? Why have we neglected this? What does the Quran teach us, my dear friends? What does the Quran teach us about those who we disagree with? Those who we wish to convince about our opinions. You have an opinion? You want to convince others of your opinion, your religious views, your political views? How? Let's see what the Quran says. Let's see what the Quran says regarding convincing others, influencing others. Does the Quran say use a sharp tongue? Curse? Curse, la'na is another story. Swear? Use profanity? Because la'an, yes, it's in the Quran. And la'an means to ask Allah to take away your mercy. It's not a big deal. This is not something harsh. But to swear and use profanity, is this accepted? The Quran tells Musa alayhi salam and Harun to go to Fir'aun. Look at what the Quran says. اذهبا إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقولا له قولا لينا. Speak to him softly. Fir'aun, who declared to be the God of gods, Allah tells him, go speak to him softly. Don't shout at him. Don't swear at him. Don't use profanity with it. قولا له قولا لينا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasulullah, when you speak to the disbelievers, قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. I have my faith, I have my religion, and you have yours. Beautiful. There's no swearing, there's no foul language, there's no profanity. Very beautiful. This is the art of conversation. This is the art of dialogue. Not swearing, not using profanity. Allah tells Rasulullah how to speak with Jews and Christians, how to open a dialogue with them. قل يا أهل الكتاب تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم ألا نعبد إلا الله ولا يتخذ بعضنا بعضا أربابا. Say, O the people of the book, come, let's find our commonalities. What do we have in common? Let's discuss what we have in common. That we shall not worship other than Allah. Start with what you have in common, not with what you disagree with. Unfortunately, most of us today, we begin with the things that we disagree with. What do I disagree with you? We begin to discuss the things that we disagree with. Why? Let's begin with the things that we have in common. The things that we agree on. تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم. This is the philosophy of the Quran. This is the approach of the Quran. This is how the Quran tells us to approach those who disagree with us. Is this foul language? You see, my dear friends, we need to learn the art of convincing. You have a belief, you have an idea, you have an opinion, you like to share it with others? Perfect. Go ahead, but not by foul language, not by putting others down. You disagree with someone's idea? judge that person's idea only. You don't need to attack that person himself. You attack with so-and-so scholar, so-and-so marja', so-and-so mujtahid. Judge his idea based on the Quran and the Sunnah. You don't need to attack that person. You don't need to make it personal. You see, my dear friends, when you begin using foul language, when you're in a dialogue, when you're having a discussion, when you begin using foul language, that means you've lost. That means you have nothing else to offer. That means you've lost the art of convincing and influencing. Khalas, you finished everything that you have. You see that you lost the battle. You can't convince the other side any longer, so you start using foul language. Why? We, the followers of Ahlulbayt, we have all the evidence. We have all the proof. We don't need to resort to foul language with anyone. Our school of thought is so rich in ideas and opinions. We never need to resort to foul language. We never need to resort to profanity and attacking others verbally and attacking them personally. Never. Never. It's a sign of weakness when you use foul language. That means you've lost, you have nothing. You have no argument. Finally, I conclude by saying this. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Let's learn from our former scholars. Our former scholars. When our scholars previously, they used to debate other scholars. Did they use foul language? Were they harsh in their tones? Let me give you a couple of examples. Read Kitab al-Muraja'at by Sayyid Abdul Hossein Sharafuddin. It's a discussion between him and Shaykh al-Azhar. Correspondences. They would write to each other. Shaykh al-Azhar would ask questions to Sayyid Abdul Hussein Sharafuddin, and the Sayyid would reply to him. So polite, so beautiful, full of manners, full of love. They never, Sayyid Abdul Hussein Sharafuddin never needed to use foul language and profanity. Another example I will mention, and I will mention specifically this example because there are some that use foul language, that use profanity, and they claim to follow this scholar. As-Sayyid Muhammad al-Shirazi, Quddus Sirruh. This well-known scholar, this brilliant scholar. When he disagreed with others, he had his own opinions. And he disagreed with others. But he never resorted to foul language and profanity and sab. I'll give you one example. When he disagreed with one scholar who had, a famous opinion on the tragedy of Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam, and he denied the tragedy of Fatimah al-Zahra, when other scholars, they swore at him, they used profanity, they trashed him, they attacked him, Sayyid Muhammad al-Shirazi wrote a book called Min Fiqh al-Zahra. Beautiful book, academic, proving the tragedy of Fatimah al-Zahra. Let us learn. If you want to disagree with others, disagree with them like this. I'll give you another example. Sayyid Muhammad Rida al-Shirazi rahmatullah alayh. This scholar who we all fell in love with. We listened to his lectures. Beautiful sermons. He had a lot of debates, and I'm sure many of you heard his lectures, correct? Did you ever hear him use foul language? Did you ever hear him use profanity, sab? Never, not once. That was not his style. And that was not the style of his father. These are our scholars. They disagree with others, but they would never use profanity. As Sayyid Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr, he wrote 2 books refuting communist and Marxist thought. Read them. Our philosophy and our economy. فلسفتنا واقتصادنا. Did he ever use foul language on Marxists and communists? Did he ever curse them? Did he ever swear at them? No. 2 books so eloquently written, full of academic debates. And these are the 2 books that spread everywhere and helped destroyed communist thought in Iraq. Not by weapons, not by legal weapons, lethal weapons. No, by thought. By thought, by opinions, by using academic thought. Thus, my dear friends, profanity and foul language, vulgar language, it's far away from the Quran, from the Sunnah, from the Seerah of Rasulullah, from the Seerah of Ahlulbayt. It is far from the acts of religious people. Anywhere you go, when you see someone religious using foul language, what do you say about him? Even if he's using it against Jews, even if he's using it against atheists, if you see someone religious using foul language, what do you say about this person? It's not nice. This is not what Ahlulbayt taught us. This is not what the Quran taught us. This is not what Rasulullah taught us. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. The Prophet that we follow has high manners. He does not teach us to use the foul language. I ask Allah to guide us all. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma inni as'aluka an taj'ala fima taqdi wa tuqaddir من الأمر المحتوم في الأمر الحكيم من القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل أن تكتبنا من حجاج بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم المشكور سعيهم المغفور ذنوبهم المكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وأن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل عمري في خير وعافية وتوسع في رزقي وتجعلني ممن تنتصر به لدينك ولا تستبدل بي غيري. أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلتي هذه ولك قبلي تبعة أو ذنب تعذبني عليه. ولأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والعلماء والشهداء نقرأ سورة الفاتحة مع الصلوات.